Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, all wherever you are. Welcome to N1 Racing as we enter the second half of Season 5 of the G-Force Racing League. My name is Mark and I'm going to be your host for the next hour or so as we look forward to the second half of the season ahead. And what a season we have had already, and I think it's only going to get better from here. So let me bring you up to speed on all things that have happened in the last race, which was in Miami, where we had a sprint round. So we got 2 races for our money last time out. And these were the results from the sprint race. Emerge KDs continuing their very, very strong form, taking victory in the sprint. Emeleki came in second. A very good drive from them. Hey Emerge, welcome to the Twitch chat. And this guess got the right results screen. Go well today, my friend. Go well today. You certainly went well last time out. Emil came in second in the sprint. Now, Liam Mag, we've got to have a special word for Liam. Liam was having a cracking battle at the front with a group of cars, was probably looking for victory there, but unfortunate incident with M1 right into turn 17 meant that they sadly finished in third for them, but went very, very well in the sprint. Look out for Liam to go well today. M1 righty, an uncharacteristic mistake from them, but they ended up fourth in the sprint. Daguerre had a strong result in the sprint. 5th place for them, but I had a bit of a nightmare in the feature race, which we'll talk about in a moment. Travatsa finished in 6th in the sprint. Some points on the board for them in their first ever GFR Elite race. They have raced with us and continue to in the Ironman on Sundays. But I think that was their very first Elite race. So congratulations, Travatsa, picking up your first ever points in the Elite League. SS7 came home in 7th in the sprint, and Goat Ghosty, Emerge KD's his teammate, finishing there in 8th. So not a bad start for Emerge. How did that translate into the feature race, I hear you ask? Well, it was a bit of a switch around with Marcelinki taking victory. Their second of the season, having got victory in Japan on the opening race of Season 5. They were back on the top step of the podium after what was a great battle at the front with Emerge and M1 Righty and a few others thrown into the mix. Please do take a look at the replay from last week. I don't think so, Go. I think you've got it in you. How do you feel about Belgium today? I know you do go well, or have gone well here before, so I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Certainly look out for the RBs today. They are going to be a strong team throughout the rest of the season. And actually what I'll do, I can see, I haven't moved on the video in the top right corner of your screen, folks. The wonderful Miami circuit, not necessarily a favourite from everyone, but it really gave us some cracking racing throughout last week, and we got 2 of them. So yes, Marcel victorious, then Emerge came home in second, M1 Righty in third, back on the podium again for M1 Righty. Obo in fourth after what was a pretty spectacular recovery drive. They were pretty much at the back of the grid at the start of the feature race, but came all the way through to finish in fourth. Yes, Goat's reminding us that last time out in Spa was I think their first time out on wheel. Were you racing no line last time, Goat? You'll have to remind me. Or was that a step too far that early on? But we'll keep our fingers crossed for Goat to go well this time out. SS7 finished in 5th. Again, another strong drive from them. Their teammate of Jacobo had a bit of a tough feature race. They started well, but gradually dropped back through the field after some, I think, poor decisions in terms of setup and strategy. Didn't quite work out for Jacobo, but it did okay for SS7. No, Goat was not racing no line last time out in Spa. So Emeleki came home in 7th, so not a bad race day for Emil. Jacobo, as I say, there in 8th. Goat Ghosty finished in 9th, and Hommel picked up the last point in 10th, and Hommel does continue to score pretty much week on week. I don't think they've found a permanent seat yet, but when they do, I think any team will be delighted to have them, because Hommel does consistently score, not necessarily up the sharp end, although Hommel did start very, very well last week. We did have a number of DNFs, and that's partly due to the walls around the Miami circuit. So Xmas VRX Not so great for them, sadly. Jaguar just lost connection. Srivatsa also retired. Daddy Tonk and Real Panda TV. Real Panda we welcomed for the first time last week, but sadly couldn't get to the end of the feature race. So what does that do to the championship at the halfway point in season 5? Well, I can tell you it was all changed. So Desaves, Jakub Kozlowska was... see, my PlayStation needs me to click OK. Jakub Kozlowska was leading the way, but they have been unable to race for a couple of weeks due to illness. So Emerge KDs took full advantage of that and now leads the way on 103 points. Marcel moving into second there on 87. Watch out for Marcel as the season progresses, but definitely don't count out Jakub. Our season 4 champion missed a couple of races and obviously dropped some points as a result of that. I'm not sure if Jakub is back this week, so it may be an opportunity for others to continue to extend their lead over last season's champion. M1 Righty, I'm pretty sure, is not with us because M1, I believe, is watching the football. But for all of you who are interested in the football, yes, I think Jakub H is missing this week. But for those of you who are interested in football but would rather be here with us watching the racing, and I think that's the right place to be, I have got a little ticker on the screen for the Real Madrid-Arsenal game, and that will be on the main screen, just tucked away at the bottom of the screen. So we'll try and keep you up to date on that score. I've had a request from Liam for updates on the Newcastle Palace game, and that is currently 1-0 to Newcastle. So good start to that game for Newcastle after 14 minutes. And we'll also keep an eye on the other Champions League match as well. So I'll do my best to bring you updates as we go along. Sadly, I haven't seen the goals, so you'll have to describe it for me. We'll look out for further goals to come in through the night, and I'll do my best job at being a replacement Jeff Stelling. We'll see how we get on with that. For those of you who don't watch Sky Sports in the UK, will have absolutely no idea who I've just referenced. So, Desaves currently in third, M1 Righty in fourth, Obo on 58 points. AM1, thanks for joining us in the Twitch chat. Well, best wishes to Arsenal. They've got 3-goal head start on Real Madrid, but it should be a cracking match. But thanks for stopping by and saying hello. And I do not blame you for prioritising the football. I think if Chelsea were playing, yes, I've declared my colours. If Chelsea were playing in a similar match, I might be somewhere else. But fortunately for me, it's not been that kind of season for my particular team. Anyway, moving on from the football for a moment. Obo there in fifth, and their teammate M. Dorling in 6th. I don't know if M. Dorling is with us this week either, so we could be without both of the Aston Martins. Emil will look to take advantage of that around their home track here in Belgium. Then Goat Ghosty there on 43. I know Goat will be looking to add to those. Yes, Goat. If Man United where they need a better, they've not had the best of seasons, but I'm certainly not going to throw any stones given the season my team have had in a couple of seasons past. So SS7 there on 38 points. Jaguar Paul there on 34. Jacobo on 25. Liam Mag, welcome back to the league. 15 points on their first outing in season 5. GL on 8. Mr. Hannes on 6. We haven't seen Mr. Hannes for a while. We do hope to have Mr. Hannes back at some point. Daddy Tonk on 6. Homo on 6. And Spiralex on 4. Srivatsa on 3 on their first outing in the Elite League. And then Ben on 2. Big Tonk yet to get on the board. And then in terms of the constructors, it's so tight. I'm not going to call who's going to win the constructors from here. Alpha Tauri, not Alpha Tauri, RB of course, just 1 point ahead of Mercedes on 146 points. Red Bull not far behind them on 137, and do not count out the Aston Martins. CM Dorling has just got into the lobby, so we do have at least one of the Astons out this week. And then we get a bit of a gap from the Astons to the Alpines on 63. But every team this season, this may be the first ever season for GFR, every team has got points on the board. So congratulations to everyone so far at the halfway point. We are going to be going live with racing very, very shortly. And to remind you where we're going to my favourite track on the F1 calendar. We're going to Spa in Belgium for what is going to be an absolutely cracking race. No, M1, I think you'll still be in touch. There's plenty of racing left to go, including 2 more sprint rounds as well. So plenty of points up for grabs through rounds 8 to 12. So even though you're missing today, hopefully you'll be able to claw back some ground. Emerge KDs will be looking to increase their lead in the championship, as we saw a sideways Jacobo in the video in the top right corner from last week. That's sort of signs of their troubles from last time out. We're going to be heading off to Barcelona next time after Spa, and that is a sprint round, so do not miss that one. That's going to be an absolutely brilliant round of racing on what is quite a tight circuit that all of our drivers will know very, very well. And then we get another sprint round in Imola the week after, so it is going to be wall-to-wall racing for the next few weeks as we close out our time on the F1 24 game. Very much looking forward to the second half of season 5, and I see all the drivers are now readying up in the lobby, so we are going to go racing for round 7 of the G-Force Racing Elite League. I'll see you the other side of this. Racing. And as you can see, folks, it's absolutely tipping it down in Belgium, and we can expect a whole bunch of weather here. Whether it's going to stay wet for the race or it's going to dry up, I can't tell you. Maybe one of the drivers might let us know, either in the Twitch chat or in the drivers chat. I will certainly let you know if they do mention it on the Discord server. But it's incredibly wet for qualifying here in Belgium, so our drivers are going to really try and find their way around this 7-kilometer track here, dance their way around in the wet. It's going to be slippery. Wet quali dry race, says go. Okay, well, there we go. So that's drivers will be putting on a dry setup, which is going to make qualifying particularly interesting as they try and navigate one of the best circuits on the F1 calendar. And you can just see how wet it is out there, particularly as we've got no dry line at all at this stage. And with the length of track here, it will take a while for any kind of dry line to materialise. So I fully expect all of our drivers will be going out on wet tyres. There's a couple still sitting in the pits on Inters, but everyone who's out there at the moment is on wets, as Xmas is testing out the grip levels for their Haas here as they come around No Name here, looking to avoid the gravel on the outside of the circuit. So everyone at the moment, at least, on wet tyres. Maybe I'll leave those up just in case we see those change through qualification. We only get the one qualifying session here, folks, so our drivers have got to hook this up pretty quickly if they want a decent starting place on the grid. I'm going to stick with Xmas, who joined us a couple of races ago and has given them a decent account of themselves. Was going very well in the feature race last week and was predicting a P5, and at one point was running a P4, but sadly for them, didn't get all the way to the end of the race. They're trying to get a little bit of heat into those wet tyres for Xmas here. Coming through the bus stop chicane, one of the most famous sequence of corners on any F1 track. We will get a little bit of a tow from the car in front of us as we head down into La Source. We'll see if Xmas can get any form of grip coming out. There's a little bit there, but we see puddles on the track. It's incredibly wet. Now we are going to head down towards Eau Rouge, up the hill as the back end of the Haas steps out on Xmas, then through Radion and down this incredible Kemmel Straight. DRS, if we were not in the wet, would be wide open at this point, but with this level of water on the track, there will be no DRS at all. Through Lacombe, now Malmedy, and we're going to be heading down to Rivage. Oh, well, we're going to try our best to head down to Rivage, and Xmas, not surprisingly, has backed out of that one. Let's see who else is on a lap, and let's get down to Jaguar-Paul. We don't get much time with Jaguar-Paul in the race, but they're a very, very solid driver. Oh, as I say that, sorry, Jaguar-Paul, that's the commentator's kiss of death, isn't it? As I say that, Jaguar-Paul heads off into the gravel. Let's go and find another driver. You can see how our drivers are really struggling to get any form of grip here. Let's see how Liam Mag can do. I'm going to bring up our track map as well. As we're going to head down to Pouhon now. This double left hand, very aggressive turn in these slippy conditions from Liam. Just navigating turns 12 and 13 as we head towards Stavelot. And from Stavelot, we are going to head on to the Blanchimont corners, the double left-hander. These will still be flat out even in these wet conditions. Plenty of overtaking opportunities coming up for our drivers in the main race itself. As we get into the heavy braking zone of the bus stop chicane, the final corners 18 and 19 around the Spa circuit, and Liam comes over the line, but I suspect has invalidated. No time for them, so Emile leads the way on their home track with a 158.187. Emerge is on the board with a 158.203. Let's see who else is out there. So Srivatsa, their second outing, second round in the Elite League, driving for Haas alongside their teammate Xmas. So essentially relatively new team for us here in the G-Force Racing Elite League. Srivatsa just looking to get time on the board, and Srivatsa has gone out on intermediates. So they're the first to brave it, well, not the first to brave it. We've got two intermediate times on the board, Ghosty being one of them with the 159.967. The wets definitely were the earlier tyre to be on, as Srivatsa tries to get the power down on that Haas, and they do get a time on the board. 2 minutes and 0.151 for Srivatsa. SS7 goes fastest of anyone, a 158.034 puts SS7 and Mercedes provisional P1. So these times starting to come in. We'll get to Real Panda TV. Welcome back, Real Panda. They have invalidated, so this time is not going to count for them. Liam was going again. So Xmas, Real Panda and Liam, the only drivers yet to get any time on the board. Remember that our drivers will have a dry setup on here because they won't be able to make any material changes to it. And if it is going to be dry in the main race itself, you don't want loads of downforce around this circuit here in Belgium. It's very much about speed, but a little bit of control as we get into Sector 2. But Sector 1, Sector 3, all about flat out speed. So Liam trying to get a time on the board for them. SS7, that provisional P1 at the moment, 158.034. Where does Liam feature as they come over the line? Goes fastest of anyone, a 157.219, 8/10 faster than SS7. So a good lap from Liam and one to watch out for here. Real Panda struggling a little bit at the moment. Welcome back, M. Dorling. Time on the board of 2:04.403 for the Aston Martin driver. But a dry line starting to appear on track as Dorling goes fastest of anyone. So now is the time to be on those inters, a 156.091. for M. Dorling. And M. Dorling was one of my picks for a potential champion this year. Has almost secured the Ironman Championship with one more round to go, fighting it out with their teammate Obo for the Ironman Championship in season 2. They're on a Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more about that before we close out today's stream. But M. Dorling on provisional pole for the Grand Prix here in Spa in round 5. Season 5, I should say. Who else is out there? So many drivers continuing to do more laps, as you might imagine. Not so much degradation on the tyres in these wet conditions. We've got 9 minutes of qualifying left to go. If it is going to be dry in the main race, this selection of tyres is not going to hurt what they have in the garage at all. The Merge KD's coming over the line to set a new time of a 156.481. So we really are on a bit of a crossover between the wets and the intermediates here, because Emerge still setting a reasonably decent time compared to M. Dorling's 156.091. So E36 Go, my teammate from another league on a previous Fridays, is just heading out of the pits in their McLaren on a brand new set of inters, and I think a lot of our drivers thinking they will go inters for the final stage here. Oh, we welcome back Gio. I did not see Gio on the list there, so we haven't seen Gio for a while. They were with us early on in season 5, I think raced in Japan. Had quite a moment with Jakub Loska in that race, I seem to remember, but out there looking to get a new time on the board. Originally 2 minutes 00.899 for them, as Ghosty goes fastest of anyone, 155.843. So it is time for the inters, as Ghosty takes P1 away from M. Dorling. Expect these times to start tumbling now with that dry line appearing. Whilst it is still raining, it doesn't look super heavy anymore as it did when we entered qualifying. I had 2-0 to Newcastle, folks. Gahey were on an own goal on 38 minutes, so it's not going well for Palace tonight, but going very well for Newcastle so far, so I'm pretty sure Liam Mag will be happy with that, and they'll be even happier if they can get a little bit further up the qualifying order here. They're currently in P6, sat in the garage, waiting to come out on a new set of intermediate tyres. Alright, so we're with Gio here as they come through the bus stop chicane. We may as well ride on board with Gio, see how they handle the track of this circuit in Belgium. Heading up to La Source. Nice tight line in. Wants to get back on the power. You can hear the wheels struggling for grip on exit. We get back on the power. We're going to head down the hill into Eau Rouge. Ooh, back end of the Williams stepping out as the car gets light. Coming through the compression. Now onto the Kemmel Straight. Still no DRS for our drivers. It's a bit... Xmas is telling us in the Twitch chat it's raining in the garage. You must have a hole in the roof. Xmas, maybe the repairs or the investment in the infrastructure here in Belgium leaves something to be desired. Xmas is getting wet in the garage, it would seem. And Gio is doing their best to hang on to this Williams as they come through No Name Corner. Now we're going into Pouhon. Real risk of track limits on the outside of Pouhon. We will see some track limit penalties here today, folks. Now into turns 12 and 13 before we get to Stavelot. We'll see a few drivers dip a wheel or two into the exit of these corners. Gio holding on to that Williams quite nicely now. Back end does want to get away from Gio as they come through heading towards Blanchimont. Do have a car in front of us, but too far ahead probably for us to get any form of tow. Flat out through Blanchimont. Braking for the chicane. Back on the power. Over the start-finish line. And Gio goes fastest of anyone. Lovely lap, Gio. 155.525. So Gio leads the way here. More times will start coming down. Surprised to see Emil not get a faster time on the board. But E36 gets provisional P1 on 155.187. These times are coming down at a rate of knots. Lovely lap, E36. Provisional P1 for you. So we mentioned the football for Liam a moment ago. 157.219, their best time so far, has invalidated, it would seem, already on this lap. We get a sense of that from the red track map. Emil also invalidated, so driver's pushing hard now, but on this wet track, one mistake and you're over the track limits and your track time, your lap time is invalidated. Jaguar is going again. Let me bring up the lap data for Jaguar, because that will also tell us if they are improving through various different sectors. And my telemetry screen is a sea of invalidated laps at the moment, so a lot of drivers struggling to keep the car within the white lines. So Jaguar teammate of Gio has done a very good job so far. Provisional P2 for them. And Jaguar looking to join them as they're coming through the later stages of the lap here. Swings the back end of the Williams out into turn 18. Back on the power. And does indeed improve, and is the first into the 154. So 154.268. That's nearly a second quicker. It was over a second quicker than their teammate and nearly a second quicker than E36 Goat. So there is more time to be had out there. There is Xmas, as we've got a very sideways RB in the background, pushing very, very hard. So this is Xmas coming through to complete their next qualifying lap. They come over the start-finish line with a 153.521. So Xmas takes provisional pole here in Belgium. So, Goat Ghosty riding on board with them into La Source. That may have been Goat we saw going a little bit sideways a moment ago. So, can Goat get this one together? I think Goat may have been on a warm-up lap anyway, so that won't have hurt them. So they come through Eau Rouge and Radion. Now we head down the Kemmel Straight. Car in front of them is well out the way. Thank you to that Haas as we head down towards Lacombe. This straight, a famous scene in Season 4 with MacT's triple overtake. Cracking highlight, which I believe is still on my Twitch channel, and it is that good. Brilliant driving for MacT. And we wish MacT well with their current endeavours, but sadly not racing with GeForce Racing at the moment. So through No Name Corner for Goat Ghosty, the back end of the Red Bull struggling under traction. We're going to go through Who on here, staying within the white lines as we push hard in the RB, heading down towards 12. It's all about carrying speed at this point, but avoiding those curbs on the inside, which will very quickly unsettle the car. Into Stavelot. 3-0 to Newcastle now. Harvey Barnes, 45 minutes and third minute, I should say, have added on time in extra time. So it's all going very well for Newcastle. Is it going very well for Goat Ghosty here? We are about to find out as we come to the very end of this lap with only 1 minute of qualifying left to go. Goat ghosting the car around the corner with a 152.608. Best lap of the day so far from Goat Ghosty, puts them in provisional pole position. Can we get to their teammate of Emerge KD's 156.481? They are improving, but they need to improve by a massive amount here. Go anywhere near Goat Ghosty's time, and does not. It's essentially just a fraction slower than before. So, but they may have time for one more go, and indeed, if they've got enough battery, Emerge may be going again here So it's Goat Ghosty provisional P1, Xmas in provisional P2. Then the two Williams so far, Geo and Jaguar Paw. It's looking like a very good qualifying for Williams here. E36 Goat has finished their qualifying, currently provisional P5. M. Dorling will be out there on a hot lap and emerges improving hugely, nearly 3/4 of a second up just in sector 1 alone. Are they going to steal pole position from their teammate? We come round Rivage, then into No Name Corner. We won't have to worry about yellow flags during qualifying, folks. We have run out of time in qualifying, so if our drivers have managed to get over that start-finish line before time run out, their next lap will count. Merge KD's taking as much of the track and a little bit of grass as they possibly can here to try and shorten the line through turns 12 and 13. Now Stavilo back on the power again as quickly as we can, and in the dry we will be accelerating hard from that point. The pull for a curve is tough to negotiate in the wet. A 151.955 Goat goes quicker again. Jaguar Paw's gone quicker again with a 152.698, takes provisional P2. His Emerge KD's going to take pole position here. 152.426, that's only good for provisional, for third place, Liam Mag. Let's get down to M. Dorling, who I think is just finishing their lap now. With a 152.193, they take third away from Emerge KD's championship leader. So it all happened in qualifying here. We should do wet qualifying more often, folks. It's a while since we've had wet qualifying in the G-Force Racing League. But what a great qualifying session that was. But it was brilliant for Goat Ghosty. Top of the pile, 151.955. Pole position for the RB of Goat Ghosty. Followed by Liam Mag, who sneaked that time in, a 152.038. They're going to be alongside Goat. Then comes M. Dorling, a good lap from them in P3. Then Emerge KD is in 4th. Emil alongside Jaguar Paw. Then Xmas and Geo. Travatza in 9th. E36 Goat in 10th. SS7 and Real Panda right at the back of the grid. I'm surprised to see SS7 down there, but I expect them to improve as we go into the main race. I'm intrigued to see what my timing screen shows me in terms of weather. It was very wet for qualifying. We'll see what happens in a moment or two's time here. So SS7, I think, pushing a bit too hard based on the driver's chat and didn't get their time on the board. So it is not raining. It is not raining. So that's a good sign. And we'll have some excellent dry racing here. Whether it will rain during the race, time will tell. We don't have a formation lap here, folks. So when you see the lights go out, we are going to be racing. Although we only have a 12-car grid, expect this one to give us fireworks here today, particularly as we head down the Kemmel Straight for the very, very first time. Most of our drivers will just be looking to get through La Source, the scene of many an accident in the real world and also in G-Force Racing and probably any league race you may have seen on the F1 game. All our drivers just hope to get through there unscathed, and they'll see how it pans out from there. Will we see any side-by-side action? First lap around into slightly distracted there, into Eau Rouge and Radion. Time will tell. Newcastle 4-0 up. Goodness me. And we're still in the first half. There must have been a significant injury to someone because there were 8 minutes. That was in 8 minutes of added on time. So Newcastle going great guns at the moment. Still 0-0 as we can see between Real Madrid and Arsenal, and also 0-0 in the other Champions League match as well at this point in time. So a bit of a pause as our drivers probably recalibrate some of their settings now that we've got a dry start to this race, and we'll be hopefully racing very, very shortly. Remember, halfway through the season with Emerge KDs leading the way, but a number of candidates looking to knock them off their perch here today. Right, we are going to go racing. 5 lights are on. All right, folks, let's go racing. For round 7 of the G-Force Racing Elite League here in Belgium, as cars get squeezed together going into La Source, and that's Goat Ghosty pointing the wrong way into the wall. It was a tight squeeze, 3 cars squeezing together there, and Goat Ghosty is the one to lose out. Liam Mag leads the way. Hopefully our drivers won't have picked up any material damage from that, but Liam has got away. Emerge KD is looking to find a way through on M. Dorling as we head down the Kemmel Straight for the very first time. And Jaguar Paw is the one to lose out as we came into Lacombe. So Liam Mag continues the lead, but Emerge KDs has come through into second place. M. Dorling hanging on to their tail, followed by Xmas and E36 Goat there in 5th place. So a good start from E36. We'll take a quick look at winners and losers at these early stages. And indeed that accident, let's call it, for Goat Ghosty in La Source, they're the ones to massively lose out all the way at the back of the field at the moment. E36 Goat taking real advantage of all of those going on, up 5 places, Xmas up 3, Emerge up 2, SS7 also up 3. Not surprised to see SS7 looking to make ground early on here. We should put tyres up as well. Now that is interesting. So we've got Liam out on mediums and leading the way on mediums at that, with the soft runners behind them, as Emerge gets very close to the rear end of Liam going in to the bus stop chicane. So Emerge, M. Dorling, Xmas, E36 Go all on soft tyres. Liam deciding to start on mediums. Geo on mediums, Emil on mediums, SS7 and Stravatsky the other soft runners. Everyone else on medium tyres. And everyone else is in the range of DRS. Oh, Jaguar Paw seems to have dropped out of that. So looking to close, Jaguar Paw trying to get back onto the rear end of SS7 as Emerge KDs comes through with the benefit of DRS now enabled on lap 2, comes through on Liam to take the lead of the race. We'll see a lot of changes for the lead with the benefit of DRS. Now we're in these dry conditions. I can tell you, according to my timing screen, it is going to stay dry throughout this race. So our drivers will be able to focus 100%, as Liam definitely needs to, unless they've just been distracted by the Newcastle score. They head towards a little bit too much of the gravel. But many of our drivers, if they can keep it clean here, will hope for some penalties for those in front for track limits. And we've already seen 1 or 2 go a little bit wider than they should do. If you get all 4 wheels over the white lines on the edge of the track and you do that 3 times, the in-game stewards are going to give you an immediate 3-second time penalty. And with our cars likely to be running close together for a large chunk of this race, that could really hurt some of our championship contenders when all is said and done here today. So Liam looking down the inside of Emerge as we come towards the bus stop chicane. Fortunately, no coming together, and Emerge holds on to the lead, but this fighting is allowing all of those cars behind to get closer and closer together. Liam does look strong here, but so does Emerge, and M. Dorling is hanging on, as is Xmas. So very good drive from Xmas VRX ZE here, who is hanging on to 4th place very, very nicely. E36 Go was within the range of DRS. Are they going to see the DRS flap open? We can see that open for M. Dorling though. So Liam has the benefit of DRS, as does M. Dorling. So that allows Liam to defend from M. Dorling, who was certainly shaping for a move into Lacombe there, but has to concede and back into 3rd place for them. E36 Goat has dropped out of the range of DRS, so Emil is now on the rear end of the McLaren, looking to get a good result here at their home track. Real Panda is the first to pick up 3 seconds for track limits, and there will be a few more of these before this race is done. We are on lap 3 of 22, so plenty of time for things to change around here. And one mistake, one safety car, and a safety car could really mix things up, particularly for our medium runners, who will be looking to take these medium tyres all the way past half distance, I imagine. Here, the hard tyres not a favourite for our drivers, it would seem. So Emil making their move now on E36 go as we come round Blanchimont, and the Red Bull is now up into 5th. The only Red Bull driver out there this week. So Victor from last week in Miami not racing. So Emil is trying to do this all on their own, and they are dragging SS7 with them. We've got to go up to 2nd, 3rd and 4th here as M. Dorling, Emerge and Xmas were side by side, very wide as we came down the start-finish straight. And it's M. Dorling who now assumes 2nd place and can be the next to challenge Liam in front. But Liam really has some good pace, particularly on those medium tyres, and maybe there isn't much of a speed differential between these two different sets of rubber. And M. Dorling now taking advantage of that, and Emerge thought about doing the same. No way through. Brilliant shot from the helicopter as they came through Lacombe here, and we saw M. Dorling take the lead of this race on lap 4. Liam deciding to concede, and they've got to play the long game here. There's no point in losing a front wing at this stage in the race. So M. Dorling now looking to take victory. It may be, I believe, their first victory of the season if they were to be victorious here. I am just going to check the results from earlier in the season, but I don't think M. Dorling has won in any of our feature races so far. They will certainly correct me afterwards if I've got that wrong. No, so M. Dorling would be another different victor here in GeForce Racing. Marcel has won, Emerge has won, Jakob has won. So there's been plenty of different victors here. M. Dorling looking to add their name to this list and reinstate their challenge for the GFR title in Season 5. We start lap 5. M. Dorling in the lead from Liam Mag. Then comes Emerge KD's Xmas in 4th. Having a very strong race for them so far, and will be happy to hang on to the rear end of Emerge. Emil now in the range of DRS, bringing SS7 and Geo with them. We're going to have the 6-way fight very shortly for the lead of this race. Emil looking strong on those medium tyres as the lead changes again with Liam moving ahead. And SS7 now through on Emil, but I suspect these drivers attempting to work together. E36 Goat picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Goat Ghosty is recovering, and recovering, it would seem, reasonably well. We've got a yellow flag and a safety car. I told you this could mix it up. So the medium runners will not be too disturbed about this, I dare say. The only decision for them is whether or not they pit on to mediums from here or to hards. So the soft tyre runners will not be too disappointed to get off of those softs. The medium runners, though, really have got a big decision to make. And I think that was Real Panda that we lost, was it? Yes, there we go. So Real Panda with a no front wing at all. So we have a safety car on lap 5. Let's see how many of our drivers dive into the pits here. Will the medium runners look to use this as an opportunity to gain some track position? But it's such a long lap here in Belgium. I think everyone's got to pit. I just don't think it's worth it. You get your mandatory pit stop out the way. Yeah, such a long pit stop here, such a long lap at 7 kilometres long. I just don't think these teams have any other option. Not too many teams with 2 drivers this week, so less chance of double stacking. M. Dorling will be delighted about that. Obo will be cursing their luck. So M. Dorling has switched on to mediums, as has Xmas, as has SS7. So those soft tyre runners have indeed decided to go on to mediums. Everyone else pretty much on to hards. Real Panda will be certainly looking for new tyres and a new front wing. And it may be a lap or so before we get back under racing conditions. I'll give you a score update while we're at it. So still 4-0 between Newcastle and Crystal Palace. It's half-time in that game. We're 32 minutes in with the Real Madrid game, with that still being 0-0. So Arsenal going through at this point. Real Madrid are with a lot of work to do in that one. No change in the other Champions League match as far as I can tell either. So indeed, 0-0 between Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. A new service for you all this week on M1 Racing, live football scores. I will do your wish is my command. All right, we have a little bit of time, I suspect, before Real Pender gets on the back of this train of cars. I'm going to see if there's anyone in the driver's garage, driver's garages, to say hello to. It's pretty quiet in there, but I might go and have a word with the McLaren of E36 Go. Ben, it's Mark from the stream. Are you there?
I am here.
Hello, my good man. Well done on qualifying for a start. That was very good. Did you surprise yourself?
I did, mate. Yes. I even took a picture.
Oh, well done. Well, we saw you in P1 for at least a short period of time, and I thought that's a brilliant lap. So, and you were going well at the start, but then you got that track limits penalty. Do you expect quite a few drivers to end up with a few of them today?
I mean, Belgium's quite a hard track. I think there could be a couple.
I wouldn't be surprised. So you're looking to take those hard tyres all the way to the end now, yeah?
I am, yes.
All right. Well, I will let you concentrate on trying to get at least a little bit of heat into those hards. I know it's not easy, but I wish you well for the rest of the race, and I might come and have a chat with you at the end.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care. All right. Thank you to Ben for talking to me there. And we are starting lap 7 under the safety car. Real Panda is navigating their way around to join the rear end of this train of cars. So Liam is leading the way. Emerged there in second, both having switched on to hard tyres. M. Dorling in third, Xmas in fourth, SS7 in fifth, recovering very well from what was a poor qualifying by their standards. Emil in sixth. Gio in 7th, Goat Ghosty there in 8th, and this has really brought Goat back into play. And if they did have any damage on their front wing, would have given them an opportunity to perhaps get a new front wing and get back into the race here. But I think Goat is all right. I will see if my vehicle stats are working this week. If we get down to Goat, will it refresh for me? I'm getting tyre temperatures, but it looks as though so no damage for Goat. That's good. So everyone going pretty nicely at this point. And this safety car also helping out our medium runners, of course. So less laps to do on those mediums will mean they'll have a lot more grip than the hard runners around them in the early stages. And if they can actually break away from the hard runners, will give them a great shout of victory here. M. Dorling in pole position in that regard, but they've got Xmas and SS7 behind them also on mediums. So this is going to be really interesting to see these strategies play out. Do not discount another safety car before the end of this race either, and that will mix things up even further. But we've got another 15 laps to go after this one. We've got our fingers crossed the safety car is going to come in shortly, although Real Panda is just coming around Pouon now, so we'll be joining the rear end of this train of cars very shortly. I'm just waiting to see if the safety car is coming in. The lights are out, so I think the safety car is going to be coming in. I did see the lights out on the safety car. Yes, indeed. So the safety car is coming in this lap. And we are going to go racing once again on lap 8. Liam Mag is going to be the car to lead them away, looking for their first victory here with G-Force Racing. Having good early pace on those medium tyres. Now having to switch on to the hard one. So Liam's got to decide when to go. Do they go early? Or do they leave it to the last minute? Oh, is that problem? That's Real Panda I think Real Panda's had a moment. There's something's going on, and we see Real Panda in the barrier. I think whether or not we'll get another safety car for that, or they're just going to disappear. I'm not quite sure. It did say collision with M. Dorling as well, so I do hope M. Dorling came out of that broadly unscathed, but they certainly have lost some time there. Now a second back from Emerge KDs. Let's get to M. Dorling and see if we can see any damage on their car. Looks as though M. Dorling's Aston Martin is all in one piece. No safety car, I'm glad to say, at this stage, and Real Panda has been disqualified for where their car was parked. So M. Dorling's got a bit of work to do, but SS7 has moved up into 4th now as a result of whatever was going on there. And I think it's Xmas, actually. Maybe they were the one to lose out. I think we've lost Xmas completely here. So I don't know if that's a connectivity issue or that coming together with Real Panda. I'll have a quick look in. Disconnected from Xmas. So Xmas, if you can get back in, that would be great. And both Real Panda and Xmas both disconnected. There's something massive happened in the game there for both those drivers. So Xmas is at least still on track at this point. So M. Dorling has managed to get onto the rear end of Liam, back into the range of DRS, as has SS7. Emil's gone with them, and Gio. And I wonder if we do have some connectivity issues going on here. No, everyone seems to be reconnected, other than, sadly, Xmas, it would seem. Let's get down to Xmas, see if they've been able to get back in there. So Xmas still ghosting there, sadly, for them. So, Emerge KDs assumes the lead this race on lap 9. Then comes Liam in 2nd place, looking to retake the lead with the benefit of DRS. And now M. Dorling and SS7 also fancying their chances. Emil having dropped back out of the range of DRS, it would seem, in their Red Bull. Big lock-up from them as they head into Rivage, pushing hard to get on the rear end of M. Dorling now, with SS7 having got through of SS7 having got through on M. Dorling. So there's a lot happening here, folks, and I'm also trying to keep an eye on the driver's chat to see what these guys have been saying about what's been going on. So trying to keep you abreast of what's happening as best I can here. But it's going very well for SS7, considering where they started in this race, and we can give you a proper sense of that. So SS7 up 8 places now on lap 9. Liam obviously leading the way from Emerge, but it's going very well for SS7. M. Dorling in 4th. Emil pretty much where they started. Gio up 2. Ghosty down 6, but recovering. As it's got so very close, as SS7 now takes the lead through on lap 10. So SS7 is having a blinding drive here in Belgium, taking advantage of all the chaos, and is up into the lead this race. And M. Dorlings are doing their best to get through on Liam. We nearly had some side-by-side action through Eau Rouge, but Liam thinks better of fighting that one and backs out. And that is now allowing Emerge to come through. Is Emerge going to get SS7 and M. Dorling here? SS7 holding the inside into Lacombe. Good driving by both of these drivers here. They touch slightly, but SS7 comes out, holding on to 2nd place. M. Dorling now in the lead here. SS7 going with them. The hard runners will want to hang on to the mediums at this stage. They cannot afford to let them go, but the mediums definitely with more pace at this early stage in this 2nd stint after the safety car. Emil has rejoined this train of cars. Gio doing their best to get there. They are indeed. Ghosty now fighting to recover from that turn 1 incident, looking to get on the rear end of Gio. And if they can do that, watch as Goat will try and size tied their way through the 6 cars in front of them. It's not gone well for Jaguarpur here after what was looking reasonably good in qualifying, but they're down there in 8th. Srivatsa now running in 9th. A pretty lonely race for them, and sadly my good friend E36 Goat is down there in 10th. M. Dorling sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:44.852 on lap 10, as Srivatsa pits, wanting to get off of those hard tyres, has clearly had enough of that, and indeed Srivatsa's clearly had enough, sadly for them, of the race. So Srivatsa and Real Panda, the 2 drivers to leave us. Does look as though Xmas has reconnected, and that is very good news. Welcome back, Xmas. Back into this race, and has got some hard work to do now. We have that yellow flag, but that is for Srivatsa DNFing in the pits, so that should not cause us a safety car. Now, what is telling, because we were down at the rear end of the grid, something has happened. Emil is in 3rd, but Liam and Emerge have really dropped down into the pack now. It's allowed Ghosty to get back into the range of DRS, but it's all going on in the midfield here now with Liam, Gio, Emerge and Ghosty fighting it out, and it has allowed M. Dorling and SS7 to get away. They're 2 seconds clear of Emil, so taking advantage of these medium tyres, and will hope to stretch out some form of gap if they can stay out of the range of DRS and work together as a pair, albeit they're not on the same team. This could be a very good day for Aston Martin and Mercedes, and could see a welcome return to the top step of the podium for M. Dorling and to the podium for SS7. Emil will have something to say about that, though. They are going to try and close down that gap, but Liam is under all sorts of pressure here from Gio. I wonder if Liam's picked up any damage along the way. But that battling with Emerge has perhaps worked to their disadvantage. But Liam has got through on Gio. Emerge is trying to find a way through on Gio, and they are going to bring their teammate of Ghosty with them. So we head down towards Eau Rouge here. Emerge thinks better about making a move through there on Gio, but there may be an opportunity here as we head onto the Kemmel Straight towards Lecombe. The trees of the Ardennes forest here surrounding us, and what is a very unique climate here at the Spa Grand Prix. The weather can change in a flash, and places are changing hands in a flash as well, as Emerge gets through on Gio and wants to stay with Liam. 2 seconds now the gap between SS7 and Emil, so the front two are definitely pulling away, and it could be a battle of Aston Martin and Mercedes for victory here. It's half-time in both the Champions League games, and it's still 0-0 in both of those games. As Emerge tries to get back to challenge Liam, but Liam is now on the rear end of Emil. So Liam looking to recover from whatever happened earlier on a few laps ago. And these drivers will need to work together to get after M. Dorling and SS7, who are having an excellent race so far. SS7 looking to claim driver of the day at the halfway point in this race. We're on lap 13 of 22, just over halfway. But can Liam and Emil start to close in on that gap? Those hard tyres will come into their own as the laps tick on by. Liam looks to have a good run on the Red Bull, and the Ferrari will move back up into 3rd place and will look to get after SS7 in front of them. Emerge and Ghosty and Gio is really holding their own against the 2 RBs here. The Gio not having a bad race. Remember, they have at least a 3 second time penalty. Let's check that. Yeah, 3 seconds for Gio, 3 seconds for E36 Goat, no more for anyone else at this point. Emerge going the long way round No Name Corner, but what a great move from Emerge, and that's giving Ghosty the opportunity to come through on the inside of Pouon. And Goat Ghosty gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. It's always a risk here as you push hard to get past drivers. But sadly, that exit as they come through Puon has given a 3-second time penalty to them. We've got another yellow flag. Who is the stricken driver this time, I wonder? It's M. Dorling. What has happened to M. Dorling? Damage to the front wing of the Aston Martin. Somewhere around turn 12 and 13. So M. Dorling was leading this race. Something drastic has gone on with M. Dorling. So much to talk about. In round 7 of the G-Force Racing Elite League, as Liam Mag sets the fastest lap at 1:44.646. Would love to know what happened to M. Dorling. It's put SS7 into the lead of this race. M. Dorling facing entirely the wrong way with a damaged Aston Martin. And M. Dorling sadly leaves us here. Well, I see M. Dorling messaging in... Yes, messaging in the driver's chat. So we'll see if M. Dorling will give us any clues to perhaps what happened to them there. But I think did pick up some damage from the safety car restart, and that's compromised them further on into this race. But SS7 leads here in Belgium for round 7. Just under 2 seconds clear from Liam Mag. Liam Mag on those hard tyres will hope to start closing down on the Mercedes driver as those medium tyres begin to lose grip. We don't know how well those mediums are going to go, or indeed how long they will last. But it's going well for SS7 so far. I'll give you a clue in terms of lap times. Last lap for SS7, 1:45.072, but it was also the lap where Liam set the fastest lap of the race of 1:44.646, 4 tenths quicker than the Mercedes in front of them. Another 3 seconds, sadly, for Goat. But I did mention to you about track limit warnings. There are 4 drivers now out of 9 remaining with track limit penalties. So all the rest of those out there without any track limit penalties just need to keep it clean. And if you're within a second or two of the cars in front, you're going to be picking up places for free. So we start lap 15. SS7 now starting to be gradually closed down by Liam. Emil, 1.5 seconds back from them. Then comes Emerge KDs in 4th, and they're bringing their teammate of Goat Ghosty with them. Emerge with no penalties at this point. Emerge does. So here comes Goat Ghosty on their teammate into Lacombe. Moves up into 4th, but I imagine the RBs will be working together now. They're trying to stretch away from Gio. Gio is doing their best to hang on to the RBs, but the RBs now chasing after Emil in 3rd place here. Jaguarport has dropped a long way back, 7.5 seconds from their teammate Gio. And Xmas has DNF'd as well, so we've lost Xmas as well. So sadly for us, be it connectivity issues, collisions and a few other events really disadvantaging some of our drivers here. So we've lost 4 of our 12 drivers. So those that remain, an E36 Goat, hang in there, my friend. There's some points available for you. Everyone here, if they can get to the end of this race, is going to score points. And points are so invaluable with the championship so close. This is one of the more chaotic Belgium Grand Prix that we've had in G-Force Racing for sure. But it's not been short on entertainment. We've had weather, we've had safety cars, we've had collisions, we've had all manner of things going on. But the person to take advantage of that so far is SS7 for Mercedes. They are being closed down. Liam was, last lap, 3 tenths quicker than SS7. So it is coming. They are getting closer and closer to the range of DRS. But SS7, I'm sure, will be absolutely delighted with at least a podium. But Liam is also looking for their first victory here in G-Force Racing. So Liam trying to get closer, but SS7 has actually pulled a little bit of a gap on the Ferrari there down the Kemmel Straight. So SS7 going very well 5-0 for Newcastle now. Isaac on 58 minutes, so a very bad day at the office for Crystal Palace, but a pretty spectacular one for Newcastle. So SS7 1.3 seconds clear, and it does appear that Liam has a little bit more grip as Emerge now is through on Emil up into third. It's a big ask for Emerge. They've got 2.7 seconds to close in on Liam with 6 more laps after this one to go. So it's not impossible, but Emerge has really got to go some here to get after the Ferrari in front of them. These front 3 runners have no time penalties. So these will be fighting out for real at the front of this race. And Liam is now in the range of DRS on SS7. So a very strong drive from Liam. SS7 probably will concede second. They probably won't fight too hard, but will be happy to hang on to the rear end of the Ferrari, and second place will be theirs. And Liam was fastest of anyone in Sector 3. So plenty of pace left in that Ferrari as they fast approach the rear end of the Mercedes. 3.3 seconds clear of their nearest challenger in Emerge KDs. Obviously with Emerge going to score well here, and no Jakob and no Marcel this week either. Emerge will stretch their lead at the front of the championship. Can Liam find a way past the Mercedes here on their aging medium tyres, which they've taken the 11 laps already? These drivers would absolutely kill for a safety car, I am sure, right now. The medium runners, that is. And perhaps some of those... Oh, and SS7 picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is very unfortunate, but sadly for them, that puts them under even more pressure from Emerge KDs, who is only 3.5 seconds back from this leading pair. So SS7's one mistake here could cost them second place after what has been a very, very good drive from them. Looks as though Liam is going to gradually find their way through. Will they do it at the bus stop chicane, or will they wait until we get back out onto the Kemmel Straight? I think they can pick their moment here. No point in risking it. And indeed, Liam probably would have the pace to get through on SS7 into the bus stop chicane, but they think better of it. But by doing this, they are allowing Emerge KDs to slightly get closer and closer to this front too, and Liam will not want to risk that too much. Yeah, KKE, we can't wait to have you back too in F125. Thanks for stopping by the Twitch channel and saying hi. We look forward to having you back for that as well. Here comes Liam to take the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 18. And SS7 will be looking to stick to their rear end as much as they can. Keep 3 seconds clear, remember, of Emerge KDs. SS7 picking up that 3-second time penalty on the last lap. Is desperately hoping they don't pick up any more, and will hope to stretch out a bit of a lead. Emerge 3.2 seconds back. It's okay for SS7 at the moment, but Emerge will be desperate for at least second place here. Jaguar Paul gets a 3-second time penalty. There are only 2 drivers out on track now with no penalties. That's Emerge and Liam. Will Emerge appear victorious here? Will Liam take the win? It's looking very good for Liam. After what we would have to say was a bit of a recovery after some kind of shenanigans about midway through this race, which saw them Emerge, Goat Ghosty and a couple of others drifting backwards through the pack, where SS7 and M. Dorling came through. But now 3.5 seconds the gap between SS7 and Emerge. That's really the battle that we're focused on here. What we've got going on between Emerge, Goat Ghosty, Emil and Gio is a fight for 4th, 5th, 6th. Jacob Paul's well out of it, 12 seconds back there. And E36 go a long way back. We're running in 8th, and he's going to get some good points for them and for McLaren. Looks as though Emil might have a bit of a run on Goat Ghosty here. Would not be surprised if Goat is carrying a little bit of damage from earlier in the Grand Prix, maybe even turn 1, and they've just decided to drive through it. So Ghosty going through on their teammate of Emerge KDs. And every place forward is a potential extra place for Goat, even with that penalty. So Goat will be looking to limit the damage and will be very happy if they finish ahead of this pack of cars. Emerge knows that they are going to take third place as a minimum away from Goat. And it really depends if SS7 can stretch out that 3-second gap from Emerge KDs. They're doing it at the moment. They are doing it at the moment. Geo has now dropped out of the range of DRS, 1.1 seconds back from Emil. So Emil doing their best to pull away from the Williams. E36, sadly for them, picking up another 3-second time penalty, but that's not really going to make a huge difference to their race at this point. E36 running here in 8th, but still going importantly, and that's going to give them some points. So back to the lead of this race, where Liam has a SS7 trailer behind them, but SS7 trying to get back into the range of DRS. They need that protection from Goat Ghosty and from Emerge KDs behind. I'm sure those medium tiles feel absolutely dreadful for SS7 at this point in time, and they've only got this lap and 2 more to go. Can they hang on? They are outside the range of DRS as we come through Eau Rouge and Radion. SS7 does not have DRS, and perhaps this is the moment where Liam is going to pull away properly from the Mercedes behind them. And Emerge KDs is now within 3 seconds of the Mercedes in front of them. And I suspect Emerge may close down on SS7 in no time at all. And they're going to bring Goat Ghosty with them. We might have a last lap battle for the final podium positions. SS7's last lap of 145.732. There was a 146 for Emerge, but a 144 for Goat. So I think those RBs working together are doing their best to get after SS7. Emil is not out of this yet, and Emil's had another good solid race. Oh, there's the commentators curse Emil. I'm so sorry. Oh my word, folks. There's got to be a new Twitch emote for you all, folks. The M1 commentators curse. I said all those nice things about Emil as they completely lose it. Coming towards, I think it was Blanchimont. So my apologies, Emil. Well recovered. Hopefully no major damage for you. But that has dropped them behind Geo when they were, of course, on the rear end of the RBs. So lots of work for Emil to do to get back into the fight. Emma Dorling, welcome to the Twitch chat. What was the reason for the DNF? I know there were issues on the safety car restart. Was that just carried through into a few corners later on in the race, or a few laps later? Was there something else? Do let us know. But we sadly didn't catch you spinning, which you might be glad about. But sadly we didn't see what happened to you. We just saw you facing the wrong way. But you were going very, very well, it would seem, at that point. So Liam Mag is leading the way. SS7 dropping off the back of them. Goat Ghosty and Emerge KDs trying to close back in on SS7. But SS7 doing a pretty decent job at this point. I think they're just about far enough ahead of Emerge KDs. So it could still be second place for SS7. Emerge has definitely got third as a minimum at this point, with only one more lap to go after this one. Gio appears to have had a very strong race. Aggressive driving as we might expect from previous rounds from Gio, but he's kept it on the track and is currently running 5th. We should have a look at penalties. We've got 3 seconds for everyone except E36 Goat, who has 9, and nothing for Liam and Emerge KDs. So well done to Emerge and Liam for keeping it clean out there. And Matt, thank you for the update in the Twitch chat. So floor damage. And the car has just let go on M. Dorling, which has sadly taken them out of the lead of this race. We are with Gio, who is 3 seconds nearly back from the RBs of Emerge KDs and Goat Ghosty. Emil, I dare say, did pick up some damage because they're not really challenging Gio anymore. Emerge is within the 3 seconds of SS7 on the final lap of this race. Is it going to be heartache for SS7? Will they take third rather than second? It's looking that way, but SS7 I know will be pushing desperately hard in these final stages. We'll ride with Liam, who is going to be victorious here in Belgium. A superlative drive from the Ferrari driver. Second race with us here in the G-Force Racing Elite League, as Emil picks up 3 seconds for track limits there. That's going a bit backwards for Emil now. But Liam has driven superlatively here today. No penalties, at least for them at this point in time. They've got just a handful of corners left to go. M. Dorling cheering on SS7 in the Twitch chat as well. I know SS7 will appreciate that, as Liam Mag comes into the last 2 corners of the Belgium Grand Prix and will cross the line. Liam Mag victorious in Belgium. SS7 comes over in second, but Emerge KDs take second place. SS7 takes third. Goat Ghosty in fourth. Gio comes home in fifth. E36 Goat picks up another 3 seconds to add to their collection. Emil comes over in sixth. Is that going to be enough? Yes, they're miles ahead of Jaguar Paw. So Jaguar Paw is going to come over to finish in seventh. But points once again for the Williams driver of Jaguar Paw. They come over in seventh place. With the fastest lap of the race, Jaguar Paw, well, save the best till last. A 143.827 will get them an extra point. I did not spot that they switched over. Now, is E36 Goat trying the same thing? They are indeed. Is E36 Goat going to get the fastest lap here? Jaguar Paw holds that extra point at this moment in time. Final corners for E36 Goat. And they cross the line with... Well, it's not coming up on my timing screen, but I think Jaguar Paw has retained it. 143.827 for Jaguar Paw. I'm not sure if E36 did it. Driver of the day goes to SS7 by the game. Folks, let me know in the Twitch chat, who would you give driver of the day to? I'm going to give it to SS7 as well. A great recovery drive all the way through the field pretty much to finish on the podium in third place. It was a tight run thing, though, between them and Liam Mag, who takes victory here in Belgium. Brilliant drive from Liam. 25 points for them. Adds to their 15 they already have. Liam's going to be one to watch in the second half of the G-Force Racing Elite League. Also, many congratulations to Emerge KDs, who came home in second in the end. Another strong point-scoring position. I'm sure that champagne will taste very sweet for those drivers. Our final classification, Liam Mag victorious here in Belgium. Then Emerge KDs in second, SS7 in third, Goat Ghosty in fourth. Not a bad day for the RB team. Gio in fifth, Emil in sixth, Jaguar Paw in seventh and fastest lap. Extra point for them. E36 Goat in eighth. And then sadly our DNFs of Xmas, VRX, M. Dorling, Srivatsa, and Real Panda TV. Well, thank you guys. What a great race. I hope you enjoyed watching that with me. Even though we only ended up with 8 drivers on track, there was plenty for us to keep us occupied. As well as the football, which remains Newcastle 5, Crystal Palace 0. And the other 2 matches in the Champions League still 0-0 as well. So pretty uneventful for the Arsenal team, it would seem, at the moment. I'm sure they'll keep their fingers crossed as they go into the second half of that particular match. Now, we may try and have a quick chat with some of our drivers. So we'll head back into the garages, see if there's anyone left hanging around. Goat is there. Let me go and have a chat with our good friend Goat Ghosty. Goat Ghosty, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, mate. Are you alright?
I am all right. No, so we've got to ask, turn one, what happened? Was that contact with someone else, or was that you?
I think I may have broke a bit early compared to some drivers, and maybe it is on me. I'll have to check back with the replay. Obviously, it's a racing incident. It's not reportable, and I recovered from it anyway. But overall, I just think it was me. I think it was just braking early. Someone rear-ended me, and then I just had no space from the inside, and I basically just clipped the wall, and I was round.
Yeah, it's so tight, that corner for first lap. A very good recovery drive from you, because it was looking pretty desperate at one point. But safety car, I guess, was a bit of a bonus, was it?
I was actually hoping for no safety car because I saw a lot of soft runners, which was interesting because softs actually die very quickly around this track. You really don't want to be on softs or mediums for more than half the race, with every track obviously, but especially around here, being a long track, it dies very quickly. So the safety car, if I had wing damage, I didn't actually pick up any damage from turn one. But if I did have wing damage, I would have been more thankful. But I guess it brought me back with the pack and brought everyone close together.
Yeah. Well, good drive from you, and a very good drive from your teammate that's joined you in the garage after drinking that bottle of champagne. Emerge, congratulations on second place. It was always going to be a bit tight at the front. How was the race for you?
Yeah, the race was alright, to be fair. At one point I dropped down to, I think it was P6 or P7 because I accidentally left my battery on for the whole of Sector 3. Oh. So I got to the straight and just had no battery, so I got swallowed. And then I was just DRS swapping with my teammate to get into the range of SS7's penalty, which worked out. So I think overall, pretty good race. I mean, 2 and 4. I think we'll take that for the constructors and obviously the championship for me, because Jakob and Marcelinki ain't here. I got a good buffer now, so I think it was good.
It was a good drive from both of you. Like you say, strong points for the team, and you will extend your lead at the front of the championship as we head properly into the second half of the season. Well, congratulations to both of you guys. Thanks for talking to me. Will you both be back next week?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Excellent. I look forward to that, and we'll sprint round next week as well, so plenty of racing for you. Thanks for talking to me. I'll catch you both next week.
See you next week.
Now, we've got to go and have a chat with SS7, and I see 36 Goat is still in his garage as well, so we'll go and have one last chat to Ben in a moment, but we will head into the Mercedes garage and have a chat with SS7. SS7, are you delighted with third or disappointed that you missed out on second? SS7, are you there? I wonder if he's struggling with his audio.
Hello.
Oh, you're there. Did you hear my question?
I said the second option.
They're disappointed. It was, I mean, you really used those medium tyres to your advantage. You got away with M. Dorling. But then, was it just losing M. Dorling? You were always gradually going to fall back into the clutches of the chasing RBs?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to lie. As soon as I saw him spin, initially I was like, oh my God, yes, I'm in first. But after that, I was like, oh, I'm going to be swallowed up here. So if he stayed on track, it probably would have been better.
And how many laps did you do on those medium tyres in the end?
When was the safety car?
I think around about lap
6 or something.
Yeah, 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah, so from lap 6.
Yeah, so
all the way to the end.
Yeah. Do you know what the wear was like at the end of the race? Did you look?
No, I didn't look. I was just going off how it felt.
Yeah, well,
which is mainly what I look at. If I look at the stat, I'm like,
Probably a very sensible move. Very sensible move. Well, congratulations on third. It was good to see you back on the podium again, and a very strong drive. And my driver of the day, indeed, the game's driver of the day. We'll see if the Twitch chat agrees with us, but a very strong drive. So congratulations.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
See you next week.
See ya.
All right, and Ben has left the McLaren garage, and I don't blame him. He's probably gone for a good rest, count up all his penalties. M. Dorling agrees with me. Thank you, Matt. So SS7, Victoria, well, not quite victorious, but certainly on the podium for them after a very, very entertaining round here. And we're going to do it all again next week, folks. We're going to be in Barcelona for the sprint race. 2 rounds for us to feast our eyes on. I know we're going to have a huge number of drivers out next week. It's going to be, I hope, a very full grid. Plenty of action to keep us occupied. Don't miss that. We will be starting roughly around the same time, and I think we'll be starting about 8 p.m. We may start a little earlier because of it being a sprint round, but keep an eye out on the Twitch alerts, and I'll let you know when we are going live. Then we're heading off to IMA. Before we go, we believe, to China. So Bahrain actually switched with round 2 for China. So we should be going to China, I think, for round 10. And we'll finish season 5 in the US, round 11 in Vegas, and at the Circuit of the Americas for round 12. Plenty of twists and turns still to come in season 5, as we saw today. And Liam's being the wild card that's really going to mix it up if he's going to be chasing for victory every single week. So my huge thanks to all the drivers for taking part. Thank you to Sab for following as well. Very grateful to you for that. My thanks to all of you for watching and commenting in the Twitch chat and saying hi. I wish you a great week ahead, and we will see you next time out in Spain for round 8 of the GeForce Racing Elite League. Until then, have a great week ahead, and we'll speak to you very, very soon. Bye for now.